Hey everyone, it's Elaine. Thanks for coming back to check out my channel. I appreciate you very much. You just don't know. Today, I want to show you something that, I don't know, it's always been on my radar for a lot of years. Do you remember Carol Duvall? Yep, I'm going back a little bit, but I have to say she was just like, for me anyway, like the first crafter that was getting crafting out there and starting to bump it up a notch and showing that there was all kinds of things to do and all kinds of mediums to use and all kinds of people out there doing it. And it just wasn't, the housewife home making a little something here or there, or a little arrangement. That there was so much else out there. And I remember one time Tim Holtz was on there, and I'm sure he was probably on there a bunch. And I know this has to be before he became as famous and as important in the craft world as he is now. And they did this frame, and I wish I had the paper. I actually printed out the little tutorial thing on how to, all the how-to steps. But what it was, they had taken a kind of like a square wooden frame and had cut out, if I can remember correctly, just some squares, and then had spelled out like happy birthday in letters. Well, then they took foil tape, and I say foil tape, I am talking metal, well, this is called metal repair tape. Not duct tape, but duct tape that you wrap your air conditioner ducts with, and maybe a few other kind of ducts. I don't know. But this stuff is really sticky, but it is so much fun. I have done a bunch of different projects with it, and I'm going to show you a few before I show you what I want to work on with you. One of the things, and this is just, again, early on, this is kind of what Tim and Carol did on their show. They cut out letters and glued them to the wood, and then they covered it in the duct tape, and then they took like a paper stub and just kind of went around it all, and then they took alcohol ink, yes, alcohol ink, and they covered it. And then you take a wet wipe, a baby wipe or whatever, and then you just kind of go over the letters, and it removes the colors from the letters, and it brings the letters back to silver, and they pop. So this is just one small example of just something I was playing around with. I used to like to play with tags a lot and do different kinds of mediums on them and stuff. Well, now this is the whole entire tag. And let me turn on my other light here. I don't know why I keep forgetting to turn on my main light. But this one, as you can see, is, and I'm not sure you're going to be able to see it, but you can actually see where I just put the tape on straight. And I don't know why I put the little airplane on there. There must have been something at that time. And then I had punched out the word really. So something must have been getting to me then that I did that. And of course, on the back of the tags, I have some other stuff. That looks like decoupage. And then on this case, this is just simply foil tape that I've kind of pieced on. And I must have die cut some stars. But I remember this is like a wooden Christmas ornament of an angel. And it just wasn't very appealing to me. And I didn't quite ever know what to do with it. So I just put it on a tag, yet to be determined what to do with it. So that's just some of the things that I did with paper using that aluminum tape or foil tape. Now let me show you this. This is actually a wooden disc. And in this case, I cut out a bunch of leaves and punched out some leaves, different shaped leaves. And let's see if I can get the light right there that you can see it. And then these must have come out of like an alphabet or something, like the middle of the B's or the P's or whatever. I keep scraps. I'm telling you, it's crazy. And then I have this stuff. It adds like rust texture. And I wish I could put my hands on it right now. I'll show you maybe before we totally finish this. So I put that on. This actually is in the bottom of a basket that I have hanging on the wall. And in this case, I'm pretty sure that, yeah, it looks like I just ran the tape straight across it too, and then traced around everything. Now, the nicest thing that I have done is this tablet holder. And in this case, the front of this is actually pewter. That's a whole different story, let me tell you. You would think that this was actually a stencil. So instead of going around the object like you would with a die cut piece, you're going into the stencil. So your pewter has to be turned the other way. Like I said, this is a whole different thing, but isn't it beautiful? And my premise was that the tablet would sit here on the little groove and a hand would be holding it. It's fun, but on the back of it, I went slam damn crazy. This is nothing but a bunch of gears that have been die cut. They are put on with the foil tape. And, you know, this is drywall tape, I believe. And so was this. It's just two different kinds. This actually may not be drywall tape. This might be the tape that you put under tiles that are, you know, like hold them together. And then this, of course, is just a steampunk owl. And in this case, I put just little pieces of tape, and you can see, and I kind of like the way it looks like it's all been pieced together. And of course, this just slides out. Hold on, because sometimes it's tight. But so here it is, all taken apart. And I don't know, I just really have liked it. And then I've added one of Tim Holtz's little saying plates up here to the top. But isn't that cool? So I thought maybe you and I could start on a different kind of project. Put that down. And so what I'd like to do, and let me back up for 1 second. When I went to that retreat last year, and I know I've talked about it a bunch, but one of the things that I gave everybody was enough foil tape to wrap around this piece of wood so they could play. And I gave them all kinds of gear, different size gear dies that were already punched out, and the directions, and it was actually that write-up from Carol Duvall and Tim Holtz. And it had pictures so they could kind of see step by step. Now, has anybody done it? I don't know. I've not seen anybody, or they've said they've done it. But I hope they can see the things that I've done and the things that you can do and understand how really cool it can be. This is actually, you know how I am, this is actually a table leg sample. Yes, I know. And a friend of mine at work actually sliced the table leg for me. So what were we going to do with one leg? And so, like I said, so he sliced it into 17 slices for me. And like I said, it was just mainly for them to play with. But what I want to show you today is, I know everybody has seen these cans. Are they pirouettes? Pirouettes? I'm not quite sure how to say it, but they're darn delicious. That's, I can tell you that. So this can is probably the biggest can that I have. And these cans are so darn nice. I understand why they do it, because the goodies inside are so fragile. But man, oh man. And then these you just get from the dollar store. And these I like because dark chocolate, first of all. And sometimes when I've had new employees starting at work, a new lady, I will always give her like a little welcome note and then a can of these. And I've never known anyone to not like those. So What I've gone on and done is, oops, crash, boom, bang. What I've gone on and done today is taken some gear dies and gone on and I glued them onto this can. Okay. And this is Tim Holtz clock. I'm sure you all have seen. Kind of fun. Just, I'm just going to say it. These cans are too nice to not do something with them. Okay. Now, I do want to show you something else too with these. In this case, this lid is fairly smooth. This lid, the name is, it stands out. It's debossed or embossed? Embossed. I don't know. But so is this P. So that's one thing you need to decide. If you're going to use the lid after you do the foil tape on it, it could be a problem because the lid really does fit snug. I don't think it'll go on with your tape. So what you might want to do, depending again on what you're going to use it for, is maybe stop your tape right here where the little hump is that stops the lid, and then just paint that a different color or paint it silver if you need to. In my case, what I plan on doing is I won't need the lid. All right. So I'm going to go on and get these out of the way. And I'm not going to have you sit here with me the whole entire time as I do this. I will stop the video and then come back a little bit later when I have more of it done. But I do want to show you the premise of what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to tell you too, this tape is sticky. I can't begin to tell you how sticky it is. And it's not always the easiest to get off of the paper. Now in this case, because it does have this silver rim around it, I'm going to leave it. And the other thing too is you will not, I doubt seriously, will not get this tape to be super smooth. All right. Now, right for here, I'm just going to go around the bottom, kind of piecing it together to give you an idea. Alrighty, here we go. And now it's up to you if you want your tape to overlap. I do, because in this case too, I want it to look all pieced together. And again, I don't care if I have ridges in my tape. I don't care. We can take the paper stump and we can fix some of those along the way. All right. As you can see, I'm pretty much out of my first roll. Actually, I think it's my second roll. Hold on, I dropped it. So I'm just about getting to the bottom of it again. And also the seam on this can is barely noticeable. So that's also pretty good. Alrighty, so here we go. And lucky for me, I cut enough that it is finally overlapping. Alrighty. So at this point in time, I wouldn't really take the paper stump and try to do much with it. At this point, I would just kind of make sure that the tape is all stuck down, no loose edges. Now, next thing is you need to decide what you want to do. For me, I want to just cut me some little pieces and kind of just start slapping them on there. No rhyme or reason, nothing fancy about it. Just, not too big of pieces. And again, you can see. And at this point too, there's really no reason to get your paper stubs out and to start, tracing the gears, because you may overlap somewhere and then guess what? You have to do it all over again. So I wouldn't worry about it. I just would make sure that my tape is stuck down pretty good. Okay. We're just about done here. Alright, let's kind of take this one. We'll overlap a little bit of both pieces, the side and the bottom. And we'll shoot on up there. Alrighty. Alright, so cool. We're coming along pretty good, I think. We'll just do a little piece here. Now, again, think about what you can do. It doesn't necessarily have to be tin. It doesn't have to be wood. You saw where I did it on paper. You might even just have like a plastic cup or something, or, you know, that you just want to cover. I don't know. As I said, these cans are really nice. Now, one thing that I guess I could have done, depending on what I'm going to use it for, let's see, we'll kind of come off at a slant here, is that I could have taken the tape and wrapped it around the bottom. Because one thing with this being just an old tin can is, you know, it will rust if I decide to use it, you know, for paintbrushes or anything like that. But, you know, wet paintbrushes, I should say. Alrighty, so looky there. So we have one little triangle left, and we have one little piece of tape that's going to fit perfectly in there. Alrighty, so I'm going to stop right there. I don't like to have my videos too long, and this one's kind of where I try to get to my max. So I will go on and finish up the can here, cover it with the tape, and I'll be back. And we will do a part 2 to this. How about me? So please, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe, by all means, subscribe so you can see what else is going to be happening. And I will catch you down the road. Appreciate you very much. Bye, my friends.